Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 860. Please turn to it, page 860, and today is our lesson number 118. On that page, page number 860, you will find three problems, number 10, 11 and 12. They are medium questions. We'll begin with number 12. Number 12 is a little tricky one. They're giving us a picture here. They're calling this line M. Then here we have line L. It looks something like this. There. In the picture above, point P, A and B are equally spaced. P, A and B. P, A and B, we are told, are equally spaced. If they are equally spaced, which means P to A equals A to B. P to A equals A to B. We are also told on line L. We are also told that P, Q and R are equally spaced on line M. Here's our line M. P, Q and R are also equally spaced, which means P to Q equals Q to R. A to Q, and A to Q is 4, we are told. A to Q is 4. Question is, what's the parameter? Oh, sorry, I left something out, didn't I? If P to B is 4, P to B is 4. Oh, P to B is 4, which means P to A is 2 and A to B is 2. P to Q and P to R is 6. P to R is 6, which means P to Q is 3 and Q to R is 3. Now we are ready. The question is, what is the perimeter of QABR? Perimeter of QABR. QABR. For Q to A is very simple. QA is 4. Q to A is 4. A to B is very simple because it is just 2. We have to find out B to R. Q and then R, B to R is what we have to find out. B to R, and finally this part R to Q is very simple because it's 3. So if we can figure out this distance B to R, we are in business. Because the other three sides we already know. Q to A we are told is 4, A to B we know is 2, R to Q is 3. R to Q because we're going clockwise. We're taking our journey clockwise. We're starting from point Q. So Q to A to B, B to R, and R to Q. B to R is what we do not know. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do here is we're going to draw on a parallel line going through Q. Let's call it, we have line L, we have line M, let's call it line N. And line N is parallel to line L. Why is line N parallel to line L? The answer is that's just the way we drew it. So if this line is parallel to this line, here's what's going to happen. In that case, if A to Q is 4, then B to, let's give this point a name here. We have A, B, let's call it point C. If A to Q is 4, then B to C will also be 4. Okay, we're almost there. Another thing we have to understand is that, and also if A to B is 2, then Q to C will also be 2. In other words, it's a parallelogram. It's a parallelogram because L is parallel to N, and these two lines are parallel to each other. A to Q is parallel to B to C. We still have to figure out C to R. We still have to figure out C to R, and for that we have to understand this part. I'm going to pay attention, okay? We're going to compare two triangles. Compare triangle PAQ and triangle QCR. Okay, here's what's going on. P to A is 2, Q to C is 2. So these two sides are equal to each other. P to Q is 3 and Q to R is 3. And also because of the fact that L is parallel to N, angle P is same angle as angle Q. These two angles are equal. So because of the fact that these two angles are equal and these two sides are equal to each other, these two are similar triangle. And therefore, if A to Q is 4, then C to R will also be 4. That was our missing side. Our missing side was B to R, which is simply 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. It is 8. And then that's it, we're done. All we have to do is add them up. That's it, we're done. 8 plus 2 is 10 and 4 plus 3 is 7, so it is 17. The answer is 17, which is answer choice E. It was a tricky question. Number 11. Problem number 11. Ratings of engine oil. So we're given 3 different kind of engine oil: 10W, 15W, and 20W. Now this particular question, before I actually start solving it, I just want to make a couple of, not a couple of comments, but rather just one comment. This particular questions I have always thought, and what I'm about to say, the statement that I'm about to make, that statement in itself is based on gender stereotyping. But I always feel that this question it has a gender bias. I feel that a lot of the boys will know these things what I'm about to tell you, and perhaps a lot of the girls will not. This W that you see there is not a variable, it's a type of oil, it's the name of oil. The engine oil, the oil that you put in your engine is the thickness of it, the viscosity of the oil is measured by some ratings. And they put in there as 10W30 or 20W40 or whatever it is. These are ratings. So W is not a variable. It's the 10W, 15W, 20W, 5W that you see there are 4 different types of oil. Now we are told that 10W is half as fast as 5W. 10W is half as fast as 5W. So we're going to make up a number for 5W. Just make up any number that you want, and 10W is going to be half as fast. I'm going to pretend it is 100. If 5W, again 100 is a number that we made up, and it's a rate of flow. 100 here is some unit. Perhaps it is 100 liters per hour, or it is maybe 100 fluid ounces per minute. Whatever it is a rate of flow, which measures the viscosity of the oil. So if that's 100, 10W we are told is half as fast as 5W, so that's going to be 50. 15W we are told is half as fast as 10W, that's 25. And finally we are told that 20W is half as fast as 15W. Half as fast as 15W is 15W equals 25, then half as fast would be 12 and a half. I don't like dealing with decimal. I don't like dealing with decimals, 12 and a half. So I'm going to stick on a 0. Okay, and now half of 250 is 125. And now question simply is 125 is, or rather 1000. Question now is 1000 is how many times 125? That's all they're looking for. That's all they're looking for. Now, another way we could have solved this problem is that as soon as we realize that 10W is half as fast as 5W and 15W is half as fast as 10W, as soon as we realize that these rates are going down, another thing that we could have done is to start with 20W. And instead of plugging in some weird number here, we could have plugged in 1 for 20W. If you plug in 1 for 20W, 15W is twice as 15W. 20W we're told is half as fast as 15W, which means 15W is twice as fast. So if 20W we're going to pretend is 1, this will be 2, this will be 4, and this will be 8. And you can immediately see that it is 8 times as fast. 125 times 8 equals 1000. The answer is 8. It is 8 times as fast. The answer is C. The answer is C. Number 10. Problem number 10. The very last problem here. We are told that the absolute value of m minus 3 equals 5. Since the absolute value of m minus 3 is equal to 5, which tells us that there are two possibilities. Either m minus 3 actually equals 5, which will be the normal case, or we do not know, or maybe m minus 3 equals negative 5, because in both cases the absolute value is going to be 5. If m minus 3 happens to be positive 5, then in order to find the m, we have to add 3 to both sides, and we find that m equals 8. And in this scenario, we add 3 to both sides, and we find that m equals negative 2. The question is, which one is it? Well, for that we have to go back to the problem and see if we missed something. If you read the problem properly, carefully, it will tell you that both m and n, or both m and k are negative. Both m and k are negative. They are both negative. They do not actually say it like that. What they tell us is this. They tell us that m is less than 0 and k is less than 0. Well, if m is less than 0, it rules out this scenario. It is this part that we're dealing with. Similarly, when we get to k, we will have to keep in mind that we are told that k is also negative. Again, we'll have two scenarios, and we'll have to throw away the positive value. We'll be dealing with the negative value of k. Let's find out. We are told that k plus 5 equals 15, the absolute value, which means either k plus 5 equals positive 15 or k plus 5 equals negative 15. Because in both cases the absolute value is going to be 15. Let's subtract 5 from both sides. If we do that, 5 drops out and k equals positive 10, which of course is not what we are interested in. Did I miss something? Did I do it right? Is it 15? Yes, I missed something, didn't I? It's not a... I wasn't paying attention. I am being very careless. This is a 7. This is a 7. We have to subtract a 7. As soon as we got to this part, I realized that something has gone wrong. This is a 7. And 15 minus 7 would be 8. Because we have to subtract 7 from both sides to get 8. Either way, the point here is that this is not what we're interested in, because it's a positive value. Here, we subtract 7 from both sides, and we find that k equals negative 22. And that's what we are interested in. We are interested in the negative value of k, which is, in this case, 22. And the question simply is, what's the value of m minus k? Pay attention. m minus k, not m plus k. If they were looking for m plus k, then in that case it would be negative 2 plus a negative 22, giving us a grand total of negative 24. In which case the answer would have been A. But that is not what they're asking. They're not asking us what is m plus k. They're asking us what is m minus k. And that is not negative 24. When we do m minus k, we have negative 2 minus a negative 22. Negative 2 minus a negative 22, this negative and this negative becomes positive, and we end up with negative 2 plus a 22. We don't need the parentheses now. Negative 2 and a positive 22 gives us a positive 20. The answer is not A, the answer is E. Answer A is there for those people who are not paying attention. You must concentrate. You must concentrate, pay attention to exactly what is being asked. Do you understand? I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.